So AI tools, it's a really broad topic. I think a lot of you have heard about new AI tools coming up recently. Who here has heard about ChatGPT? Start off. There you go. Good start. So I'll be introducing you to a lot of ChatGPT along with a bunch of other tools that I think are really important that you guys should know about. And I think hopefully by the end of this class, you'll all be able to walk out of here with a good knowledge about the vast variety of AI tools and how you can use them in your everyday life. Let's get started. So this quote I just thought is really important. It's kind of the basis of our class. And this is kind of what inspired me to hold this class. This is from like a Bloomberg article. It's a research work that Stanford and MIT researchers conducted, where they pretty much saw that workers and people who work with generative AI and all of these tools tend to replace those who don't, just because they work with more efficiency and they're able to do more due to the help that these tools provide. So today we're going to be kind of overviewing these subsets of tools. And so we're going to start off with large language models, and these are things like ChatGPT, right? So we're going to look a lot into ChatGPT. Generative storytelling, right? It's a little weird of a name. It's pretty much creating presentations, like PowerPoint presentations for you from scratch within like a couple seconds. AI can create a top to bottom presentation for you. E-meetings, we're also gonna show you guys how you can make your like web meetings more efficient. Image identification, I think most of us have seen this already. It's like AI is able to recognize objects from an image. So I'll show you how you can use that along with efficient messaging. Pretty much making your everyday life, all the notifications you're getting every single day, making those more efficient so you can stay on top of things and work better. And we'll just end off with a short Q&A. So I guess just to ask, who here brought their laptop today? Awesome. Okay, so I guess just to kind of start off with the theme of AI, that image in the background was generated by AI, right? All of this text was generated by AI as well. And all the text you'll see in the slideshow, most of it was generated by AI. So that just kind of shows the power of these AI tools and how using AI alongside like my own creation of the slideshow, able to create a just better slideshow faster. Like I was able to create this whole slideshow presentation in about 15 minutes. That's about 20 slides. So let's get started. ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, a brief introduction if you guys want to introduce you to it. It's pretty much, it generates human-like text responses to text inputs, right? So it will say you put in an input, like asking it to do something, it will respond to you through text. And it was pretty much trained, I think, on 570 billion gigabytes of text data from across the internet. So it was able to learn a lot more than we can in like a lifetime, really. And it's able to learn a lot of these different things and help us with it. So it's pretty much like, the way I think about it is it's Google search, but on steroids, right? You can search for something on ChatGPT and it'll be able to give you all the information that it's learned in a very concise manner, rather than you having to search through different articles, links, such like that. And one important thing to remember is that ChatGPT, it is very helpful, but also it does have like biases and inaccuracies. So it's not always correct. That's because it has no way of checking if it's correct, but it's trying its best to help you out with your prompts. So here's a couple of the tasks that ChatGPT can help you with. So what I'm going to do is actually run you through a lot of these examples to kind of show you the different things ChatGPT can do for you. So what I'm going to do is just run over ChatGPT, right? If you guys want to join me on your laptops, you can. The link is chat.openai.com. And this will take you to, I think, a login screen. If you haven't created an account before, you can sign in using your Google account. And then you should be able to get to this kind of screen. It might be in light mode, actually, but Yeah, it'll be the same thing.
Is it free?
Yes.
Who owns this?
It's a company known as OpenAI. Owns it. They run it on their servers locally. But it's completely free access for us to use. You can use it pretty much how much ever you want. This is why it's such a great tool.
Are there privacy issues with it?
Privacy issues, well, the only information that it can know is the information you provided, right? And any information you provided is not stored on their local servers, right? So all of the information you work with ChatGPT on will be like kept to your local device. So no information is going to OpenAI at all. So it's relatively secure. Just don't tell it something that you wouldn't want most people to know, like it's random, like healthcare information. No go. Most things.
Is it like free now because they want millions of people to use it and improve it to the point that they can start saying, okay, now we're going to charge.
So they do have
they
have a charged version of ChatGPT. They have released it. It has more features. They have a stronger model. So this model is known as GPT-3. There's a newer model known as GPT-4 that's significantly better. But that's paid. But yeah, so they did have a testing. They had a web testing phase when they initially released this. Now they've ended that web testing phase because they've released GPT-4. So now your information and data is not being used to train the model anymore. So yeah, I mean, let's take a look.
Expect this to always be free in here, or no?
So far, it looks like it.
Okay.
It's been open, I think, what, like 6 months now, 6-7 months.
And what's the incentive for somebody to have a paid version?
It has more features to start off. Primarily, they use a stronger model. So the model, there's actually a comparison. There's the new model just is so much better. I think, yeah, here parameters, that's like parameters kind of means like the complexity of the AI model. Here you can see 175 billion GPT-3. GPT-4, I think this is not updated. It's like nearly 1 trillion parameters. So it's much more complex of a model and is able to do significantly better. And it can also take image inputs, GPT-4, which is really interesting. And I guess kind of while we're here, this is actually part of Google's AI that they released recently. It's part of like a waitlist system where you can actually, when you search something on Google, they use a generative AI to kind of respond to you. Which is pretty cool. I'm not going to talk about this too much, but this is a feature that's part of Google now.
How much does it, for somebody who just wants to use it personally for home, how much is it cost for?
Just to use ChatGPT.
It's good enough.
Oh yeah, it's free,
Okay.
completely free. I use ChatGPT. I mean, you can.
I just was wondering, how much does it cost? I mean, the company's gonna probably buy it because it's better.
Yeah.
But
So
is it expensive or
GPT-4?
or is it like based on how much you use it? Users
I believe it is by users because it's running on their servers. So for every use, there's a certain cost that they have to pay to run it on their servers.
All right, I'm gonna hold you up on that. It's not as important as the rest of the stuff you have to say.
But yeah, I mean, so this is completely free. I mean, I use it a ton. You can see here, these are all previous conversations that I've had with this AI. So I can create new conversation, just saying like new chat here at the top. And so you can have different conversations. And one very interesting thing is ChatGPT actually remembers your full conversation, right? So if you're in a conversation with it, and then later on, you want to talk about something that you mentioned earlier, it will remember that. And so it's like you're having a conversation with a real person. So I'll just give a couple examples to start off. Let's see. Writing emails. Pretty simple one. I mean, this one, honestly, I mean, who here writes like over 20 emails a day or 10, 20? Yeah, there you go. So a lot of emails. Oh boy, this is in the way. Okay. So you can use this to like write emails, reply to emails. Sometimes I've used this in the past to write emails. I guess, let's see. Who do you want to write an email to, guys? Write it to the write an email to the CEO of OpenAI asking for GPT-4 to be made free, right? Simple enough. And it's going. It's going, right? It writes a long email, right? I think it's a little too long. It's still going, right? So there's a handy button at the bottom here. It's called stop generating. Let's stop now. But while it's generating, you can stop it midway if you think it's just wasting time. But I mean, I think this is way too long, right? So I'm gonna ask you to shorten. So I mean, you can read through this email. It's in good grammar, good English. But I think it's a little too long, so I'm gonna ask it to shorten it. Let's see how long it goes now. There you go. Nice and short, concise. It's pretty much taken all the facts and things it said in the previous email, just shortened it to this email. So it's really powerful, right? And yeah, it's amazing. So this is just like a small example, right? And here at the top as well, they have a clipboard option. If you click that, it's actually the whole output is copied to your like clipboard, so you can paste it now. So if I do Control V, it's all here. And so if you ever want to copy something out of here, you can just do that. You can also just highlight it and copy and paste. So that's a really simple example. Sorry, what you did?
So then you would put it on the clipboard, go to your email and paste it in. Or send it.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see, next. Repetitive tasks, right? I mean, we've all heard of like robots doing repetitive tasks in factories, things like that, right? They're starting to use AI, but there's also a lot of repetitive tasks that are based just in text. This is a very like interesting example just because it's very specific to your specific use case. So a repetitive task, for example, could be like converting like a bunch of data that you got from, say, like a Google form. You just got a bunch of output data from that, and you want to convert it to a more readable form, and you want to send that in an email to someone, right? So it's kind of difficult to explain that. So I'll try with this one example that I have. This is a really basic example. So I have a bunch of foods here, right? And they have random capitalization, right? Some of them are spelled wrong. That's as much as say pear, it says pear, right? And all of these were actually created by ChatGPT to help me with this demonstration. And what I'm going to do is copy and paste this into ChatGPT, create a new chat, copy and paste it in, right? So it's asking to fix the capitalization and spelling of these foods. And let's see how it does.
Oh, wow.
Right. So it did pretty well. It fixed the capitalization, right? Look at all that weird stuff. There's even ones in there. There were numbers in the spelling, and it's able to fix all of that. But you can see here, I mean, it spelled it as a pear instead of pear, right? That's not right. So I'm gonna ask it to make sure that all of the outputs are foods. Right? Double check its work real quick. And now it's pear. So it's able to fix itself. It's able to learn. And you can ask it to do something and it'll do it pretty well, right? Another example I can think of off the top of my head is, let's see, email format. Right? There you go. This is something that maybe OpenAI would send out, probably send a better email than that, right? So here's an email format. I'm just giving it to that. Okay, it's going. Sometimes it does things you don't want it to do. It's confused a lot of the time, right? So now it's created this email format, sure. Now what I'm gonna ask it to do is create a list of random names. Okay. So Now I have a list of names and I have an email format, but at the start it says hello name, right? It's just a blank space. What you can do is ask it using the email format, replace the oh my God, I cannot spell names and output all of the emails. It might be a little long. And it's going, right? So I'll just stop it here a little earlier. But you can see here, subject, introducing GPT-4, that's the subject of the email. It's replaced the name thing with a name of a person. And the rest of it is just the email that I wanted. So like if you wanted to say, send out personalized emails to like customers, you could easily use this to like replace the name block in your email. So this is an easy way to make like customized email. That's just one example of like the repetitive tasks you can fix using ChatGPT. Let's look at another one. Summarizing notes and documents. Let's see if I have here. Okay. I found this this is a research abstract. It's found online about large language models like ChatGPT. I'm just gonna keep an eye on our time as well. And so this is a long abstract. It's a lot to read, right? A little complex. They use some complex long language in there. So I wanted to simplify it for me.
How did you just paste that in?
I just Control-C, Control-V. It's just, yeah. From this, I have this document that I'm just copying and pasting it.
Okay.
So you have a lot of text you want to read. You want to understand it quickly. You don't want to waste time looking through it too deeply. Like it's not too important, but you just need to know this information quickly as possible. You need to absorb it. So you can ask it, summarize this abstract while explaining key concepts in simple terms, right? So if I just ask it to do that, it's going to give me a summary of the abstract, but already this is longer than the abstract. So it's not too smart sometimes. So what I'm going to ask it to do is summarize it in 5 bullet points. That's pretty simple, right? You can read that pretty quick. It's much shorter than the abstract that we had initially, and it's pretty fast. So you can just absorb that, and you're good. So that's a really useful tool if you want to learn something new, right? Read a document. If you have a document, it's way too long, just copy and paste it in here. ChatGPT, I believe, has a restriction on how long the input can be, but it's pretty long now. I think it's like 2,000 words or something, maybe longer.
Can you have that draft, or is it always a text answer?
So,
like, can you do a visual?
Unfortunately, it's only text. ChatGPT.
Yeah.
There are other tools that I believe, because a lot of people are working on these AI tools, right? So there's thousands more of ChatGPT replicas online. This one's just free. It's nice and easy to use.
Yeah. So ChatGPT is only a text response.
Yeah.
So another group of, another open AI group could come in and say, hey, we'll do a chat box where you can create a PowerPoint presentation or an Excel document, or those are new versions of it.
Yeah. So that hasn't happened
just
yet.
Like an app, like people would say, like an app to build this, like I don't want to use the wrong language.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they haven't released anything like that yet.
So do AI generating a visual?
Yeah, so there's the newer GPT model can generate images. That's one thing that it can do. But that's as far as these GPTs will go. It can generate text and images.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are models online you can find that could also do other things, like generating maybe a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I have one example after this that will create slideshows, but it's not in PowerPoint format.
Yeah. It's getting at like the amount of time it takes for somebody to learn software.
Yeah.
To learn like Microsoft Word, or learn like even the basics of like making a web page. There are tools that are in process and available right now that somebody can come in and say, build me a website.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And in, record time, all of that back programming that goes into an internet, endeavor is already covered currently by AI.
Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT, one thing it can do, which is actually an example I had a little later, it can write code,
Yeah,
which is amazing. I code a lot. I love this. This is amazing. In the slides I said debugging code, right? They can also just write code. So, I mean, I'm not gonna run any code right now. I think it'll take a little too long. It'll take a little too long to get everything set up.
but me as a layman person that doesn't know how to do code could still create something.
Yeah.
Basic like that. And then how do I know as the receiver that it was generated by AI versus somebody who actually sat and hand coded it? Is there any difference?
You don't.
Yeah, you will never know.
You pretty much never know. There are people who are trying to develop models that can identify whether text was generated by AI or human. They have about 50% accuracy. So
Yeah.
they're blind guessing.
Yeah.
There are some models that show maybe they can predict whether it's human or AI, but then when you actually try them out, 90% of the time they don't work at all. So
like when somebody right now, when something is generated as a phishing scam, oh, that looks like my bank. And it's been created by one of these tools, it's a scam or whatever. There's no way to check to see how something was generated versus, because obviously, for all the great things it does, there's going to be stuff to be aware of.
Yeah.
Banks love using AI to send it.
Exactly.
Anyway, so.
Yeah.
So there's no way to know,
Not really.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate truth about not yet.
There's your business opportunity.
There's a lot of people working on it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean AI ethics is a big field right now. People trying to figure out how they can make sure AI is used responsibly and correctly always.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is one example. This is for ChatGPT. It tries identifying whether text was AI or not. Let's try this. I'm gonna copy and paste some AI generated text into this. It's a little too long, I think. No, I think we're good.
So this is a site that checks it.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a site someone I think Princeton created. It's a student actually. And it says my text is most likely human written. I just copy and pasted AI text into there. So it's not good. It's not good right now.
Yeah.
Hopefully it improves in the
In
future.
development.
Yeah.
You got an F. You got an F.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, next. I mean,
If I get an email from somebody that was born in the last 10 years that says, thank you for your attention to this matter, I think I'm gonna figure.
oh yeah.
Someone in the chat said, if we ask ChatGPT a recent news item, say Alan Orkin recent death news, what will happen?
It won't be able to do it. So here's some of the limits of ChatGPT. It stopped training in 2019, 2020, something like that. So all of its data is before, I think, 2020. So it does not have access to recent news, right? But there are some models now. There's I think Bing AI, like Microsoft Bing. Google also has that AI that I showed earlier, that have access to the complete current internet. And those can stay up to date on these on this new information. But ChatGPT is limited to only previous stuff. So if you ask it about anything after a certain date, it just won't have any clue what you're talking about. Yeah. I'm just gonna continue. I think we're halfway through, so speed up a little bit. I'll go through. So learning new topics. I mean, what's a topic you guys want to learn about real quick? Quantum computing. Let's go. Nice and simple, right? All right. Explain basics of quantum computing, right? For a child, right? This is very interesting. It's able to pretty much change the way it's gonna output based on the audience it's creating text for, right? So in this case, I mean, it's still quite complex because it's quantum computing, but I mean, it's given us some text here you can pretty much use, kind of read and learn about quantum computing. That maybe if you Google it online, you're not gonna be able to find anything really, that's simple enough to learn. Whereas ChatGPT, what it's able to do is convert this complex knowledge of everything that it knows, simplify it down so we can easily absorb it. So it's just like a really nice tool for learning new things. Creative writing, I mean, you can just ask it to write a fantasy story, I don't know, anything really. It can write essays if you'd like to. Interview preparation, this is a very interesting one. I've used it in the past for interview preparation. If you have an interview, say, prepare me for an interview as a software developer at Google, right? These are some really complex interviews, really. So it's going to give you a couple tips first. I don't want tips right now. Give me a practice question, right? So this is probably going to be like a code question. Yeah, it's going to give us a question about code. It can actually show code as output. So this is one example, right? If you have an interview for like any job, really, you can just ask it and it can start giving you practice questions. So you can work with it as like a tool, as like a assistant. And you can interact with it, have full conversations, proofreading, brainstorm. I mean, all of this text was like kind of created by ChatGPT. I literally asked it, make a list of foods, but spell them wrong and use wrong capitalization. And this is what it gave me. So, I mean, you can also brainstorm for like other things and debugging code. I just mentioned.
Can you translate to another language? Like you've done an email there, and can you say, translate it to German or French or whatever from this platform without lifting it to Google?
It's not the best, but it tries. Let's see. Sorry, output bad. It tries. It's not the best, but it tries for sure. If an actual German speaker, I mean, I know a little bit of German. It does not.
I know sometimes like the word hunter, if you're using last names,
Right.
they'll do it like an animal.
Oh, yeah.
So I know you have to know German really to perfect.
That's actually one thing ChatGPT will not do. Like it won't convert hunter because it understands the English part of it. It understands the hunter as a name. But yeah, it's not really that best at translating, but it tries. Okay. Well, I'm gonna just moving forward. Who has computers again? Just raise your hand real quick. Okay. So if you're on ChatGPT right now, I have a couple examples here you can actually try out if you'd like. So think of your dream vacation, right? Where you want to go sometime in the future, right? And just ask it to plan out a travel itinerary for like, say, 6 days to the Bahamas. Just type that in, press enter, and look at the results. So that's just like an example of what you could do. There's also a lot of other things, difficult topic in an easy to understand way. Kind of did that with the quantum computing thingy, interview prep, and writing an email. Just a couple examples, mostly repeats from what we just did. And what I'll actually do is we can actually send this slideshow after the meeting to all of you so that you can look at it again. And I have some links here at the bottom as well. So to some more prompts that maybe you can look at. Okay. I think we spent about 40 minutes nearly on ChatGPT. So I'll get through the rest of these real quickly. So
can we use chat GPT to learn how to use it? Like,
oh yeah.
What questions can I ask her?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you can ask it. Ask it. What can I do using ChatGPT? It'll tell you. Some of these prompts right here, this is created by ChatGPT, right? I asked it, what can I do with ChatGPT in everyday life or whatever. This is what it gave me, most of it. I sorted through the output, but yeah.
How about working with Excel?
It can't.
Can't do it?
No, that's the one flaw. I think I wish it did. It would help a lot.
How about
Hear what he has.
You can't use it with Excel, unfortunately. Okay.
how about Google Sheets?
No, nothing. It's only just straight text. Okay. Has that everyone figured out? Maybe done an example using ChatGPT as well? Okay. So I'm just gonna move on. Any questions about ChatGPT specifically? Okay. So next, it's called Tome AI. Pretty much use it to create slideshow presentations in like seconds.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty impressive. I've used this before plenty of times. It pretty much creates a nice looking format of a slideshow and uses AI to create like an interactive presentation with text and AI generated images as well. And so that's the link up there, Chatham.app, if you guys want to check that out. On your yes. So these are free. A couple ones that are later are not free, but I'm just gonna talk about them briefly. This one is free. So let's head over Chatham.app. Yeah, pretty much you can create these slideshows. All of this text, by the way, again, created by AI. You can tell I don't use that much complex language. It's a little weird. AI likes using very descriptive language when it's creating text. Yeah, you can pretty much put in a prompt to this, and it'll create a presentation based off that prompt. It's really impressive. So I would go to tome.app. You have to log in using your email account or Gmail. That's really easy. Just click create. Let's see. I'll hide this real quick. Okay, so I can pretty much ask it to create a full presentation right now. So I'm going to ask it, create a presentation. I don't even need to say that. It'll do it automatically. You know what? I need some help brainstorming. I'm gonna use ChatGPT to help me brainstorm an prompt for this. All right. For a tech company that I could input into a slideshow maker. Right. Also, if you misspell something in a ChatGPT input, it doesn't matter. It can still understand it. So let's see. I'm asking you to create a prompt, and I'll put that prompt into this Tome AI. I think you guys will like. Okay, it's not doing what I wanted to do.
Is it the one in the bottom?
So you click just create, and it's right here. Can you see that? If you go to tome.app,
They go to the workspace, right?
yes. So I mean, it should open, like you see a bunch of templates here, right? You just click create at the top right. That's it. Okay.
Is there somewhere you can look up how best to prompt?
Yeah, ChatGPT. Or you can just Google it, obviously. I on the slideshow I actually linked a couple websites that have some prompts.
As I understand, there's an art to this.
Oh yeah, so the prompts, be as specific as you can. The more specific you are, the better answer you will get. And if it does something wrong, you can just ask it to fix itself, just like a regular conversation. So imagine just like another person helping you out. So this is actually created by ChatGPT. I actually did this earlier. It's a very specific prompt, right? Fundraising pitch about a levitating electric boat company that offers taxi water rides in New Hampshire and California. I'm gonna add a name for it so it's cooler. Cloud Hop. It's a cool name. It's a company name, right? Include customer testimonials and an international growth strategy, right? This is like a work presentation pretty much, right? I'm gonna copy it, I'm gonna paste it in here. And I'm just gonna ask it, enter. Yay. Let's see what it does. I did quite a long input. Just created this overview, right? This is what the outline of the presentation is gonna be. Click continue. So it's gonna go, so this is like a overview of everything that's gonna be in the slides, right? And it's just creating the slides for you. Super quickly.
Questions?
Yes.
It's taken me to when I signed up to the operator.
Yeah.
I can't get to where you are.
Can you help?
Yeah.
Or yeah. Thanks. Okay, so yeah. Those are all AI generated images, by the way. based on the text, all based on the like 2 lines text input that I put in, right?
Wow. Didn't know how much time it would take.
Oh, it's 5 seconds.
I can't
5
believe
seconds.
that.
This obviously, a lot of you, I mean, who use PowerPoint here for presentations? Yeah, me too. So I wouldn't use this for a presentation generally. What you can do really easily is literally just copy and paste this text, right? Copy and paste these images and copy and paste it into PowerPoint, and it'll look about the same. It's the same ratio, the slides, so generally it works pretty well. This page doesn't look too nice, to be honest, right? What I want to ask it to do, I want to add bullet points, separate the text a little bit. This looks interesting. I can change the color theme if I'd like. Right, let's do this.
Oh,
Look at that. It changed all the text colors. Right. Now I don't like this long paragraphs of text, right? It's a little too much, especially this one. Like, look at that. So I'm gonna highlight it and then ask here, AI edit on the right. Ask it to rewrite it. And it's shorter now.
Did you do the bullet thing on that one?
Yes, I can. Is it updated? Okay, yeah. So I can just I can just do that. There you go. As bullet points. It's still a little long, right? So what you can do
Long bullets.
is just delete it. I mean, so obviously it's not perfect. That's the thing with AI. It's never perfect. That's our job. We're trying to perfect it. So when you use AI tools, what you have to do is make sure to get what you want specifically, you have to ask it to do like the hard work for you, difficult work. And then you can do the minute details to kind of make it work better. So in this case, it's giving me all this text. I only want parts of it, right? So I made it first bullet points. Now I'm gonna add a couple more bullet points, right? Cloud pop boats glide silently and smoothly on water, right? It's really fancy. And so these are 3 bullet points for the slide. And you can go through and do that for all the slides, but it's created all the text for you. So all you got to do is just pick what parts of the text you want to use. So this is a pretty cool one. We can really quickly go through and actually, if you guys want to try it out yourself. Yes.
So, it has its own template, right? So is that possible to import the template into here and ask it to generate the the presentation according to the template?
No, unfortunately not. That's one issue. I hope someday someone decides to take this tool and kind of incorporate it as part of PowerPoint. That'd be really awesome. I'm sure someone online has done that already.
Can you bring your own photos
Yes,
into this
yes. So
platform? So if you didn't want to use their artwork, you could drop your own photos.
yeah, I think you can just copy and paste it. Here you can click plus image and
Oh, wow,
just add a new image. You can add videos, tables, a lot of things.
nice.
This is Sejal. Isn't Microsoft's AI bot something that would be,
No one.
that they'd be considering for this?
It's created by AI. So I guess it's the company that created the AI model technically like created it, but it's open access because they've created it here, so you can use it whatever you want.
So if somebody wants to do something for this topic,
Mhm.
they will come up with the same image,
No.
same setup.
Completely different every time, because it's starting from scratch every single time. It's not using any template, nothing. So like if you ask the same prompt to ChatGPT twice, for example, it'll give you 2 different outputs, even with the same prompt, because it's just talking from like from scratch completely every single time. So it won't be the same. Okay. So yeah, that's one cool example, I think. I've used this before. I mean, I used this for school presentations before. Teachers found it pretty cool. Yeah, it works.
How have the teachers at Chatham High School reacted to the introduction of AI into the to the world or the internet, whatever.
So, interesting topic. You can't use it, obviously, for assignments, right? You're not supposed to use it. I've only used this before for creating the AI images actually, because it creates it in a really nice format. The images, but the text for the most part you can't really use because it's AI generated, right?
So if you're writing a paper, you can't.
No, definitely not.
How do they
Can-
know?
can-
How do they know?
They don't, but you're not supposed to.
So you can generate the text and then paraphrase it in your own words.
You could
And
technically, yeah. Pretty much.
what about college applications when you have to write those? essays?
Same deal. You're just not supposed to use AI tools for those things. You're just not allowed to.
So once you generated as that presentations, so can you show us how to download or like how would we have it? So we would work on it further or?
I mean, so, okay, for one thing, if you get the pro version, technically you can export to PDF. That's one thing you could do. But there's no real way you could download it. What you'd have to do is pretty much physically copy and paste this text into a presentation.
Into a PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Oh,
So it still works relatively well. Yeah, unless you want to present on here. You can present on here completely fine. Like if I do this, it's gonna create a nice slideshow for me. So
Well, you could save it on their platform, on the chat.
Yeah.
On your-
it's saved here. So now if I leave, here we go. It's saved right here. I can use it. I mean,
So you could actually import pictures of people. I mean, real people.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah.
And say that they are saying something which could be totally a lie.
Yeah,
Yeah, they've got a whole bunch of scammers working on.
yeah.
I know, exactly.
Okay, just asking.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean,
To get personal, like you asked it very impersonal questions, but if somebody said, trace my genealogy back to X amount, could it find something specific about you?
it doesn't have the data, right? If it had the data, it could for sure. If you have the data yourself and you want to provide it to it, and then it can analyze the data you provided, that it can do. But it's all about not having access to the data, right? So unless you're like a famous celebrity, right? I can ask it about like, I don't know, a celebrity, and it'll tell me all about them, because it knows about them,
So it's all of this completely impersonal.
pretty much. Unless you provide it with the details to make it personal, right? So
Have access to census.
Hmm?
You know, you have every 10 years, you have a census, it doesn't have access to that data.
As you were saying, it stopped populating information.
yes,
In 2019,
Yeah.
so how would it know, like, if we asked it about, COVID? Like, it wouldn't know anything about COVID if it stopped populating in 2019,
first I gotta check actually when it.
and that's a big kind of, that's a big period of time.
When, oh,
You said
So it has
2020
to keep
before.
recording.
yeah, I forget the exact year. I can check. I mean,
Oh, it's-
chat GPT.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Stop
the janitor
training.
said, but it's about your show.
The census doesn't release detail.
September 2021. Sorry,
No,
September
they
20.
have a lot of summary information.
Yeah.
But still,
They
it's.
release detail after 70 years.
Yeah, I think they released the detail after 40. If I remember, it was 40 or 50. Yeah.
Yeah, because they just released the census that would include them.
So yeah,
If you've looked something up and you've gotten the information, can it be saved to chat or do you have to copy and paste it and put it someplace?
so these chats are saved to your local computer. They're saved to your account, right? So you've signed in. I've signed in this case on my Gmail account, so it's saved to my account. So I can see all my previous chats as well here. You can delete chats if you want. All that, yeah,
Yeah, I did set it up, like you said, so I've got some information.
Right.
Not having used it before, didn't know what was gonna happen when I closed out of it.
it'll save.
It said-
It's all there.
you don't
And
have to tell it.
if you want to create a new chat, all you
I
gotta do
see
is,
this little box up
yeah.
there.
and you can even hide this if you'd like, but yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna keep moving. We have 8 minutes.
This chat GPT will be useful for
They'll probably update it if it's still exists.
So my question was, does it have access to the census data?
I don't know, to be
I mean,
honest.
well, this is the 2020 census, so it might have made it, but the,
What's a specific question you would ask it about the census data?
Yeah, was there a lot you wanted to get through in the next 8 minutes?
Yeah, let's get.
Yeah,
there.
we can get through it real quick. I mean, Yeah. this one, e-meetings. We all have web meetings, right? And this is pretty much a way you can get automatic transcription for your web meetings, right? So it'll pretty much take all the stuff you say in the meeting, convert it to text. It's called Fireflies, the AI. And it pretty much also what it does, it will identify what's important during the meeting. And it'll highlight that in the transcript for you. So someone who missed the meeting could really easily catch up to like an hour-long meeting in like 5 minutes, right? So here's an example. Pretty much writes out the text and exactly what happened and what's important, it'll highlight. This is a paid platform. So you can't use it for free, but this is one example. Yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like. You'll just get some transcript and you can highlight things and share it with other people who are meant to be in a meeting. Next, Google Lens. This is a really interesting one. This has been out since I think 2017. But a lot of people don't know about it or don't use it very often. This is an app you can download on your phone if you want to. I think it's really useful because you can pretty much recognize any object or text using Google Lens. So pretty much it'll just look at an image and decide what's it's seeing. So if I take a photo of that painting, it'll probably say a painting. If I take a photo of the specific painting with like the moon, the mountains, it might describe that for me. So you can't really do that on computer because you need a camera. I mean, you could technically, but you can't. With Google Lens, you got to use it on the Google Lens app on your phones. And I believe on Android as well, it works. One thing we can do is search up like an image on your computer. Let's search up golden retriever. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. And I'm gonna open this image. All right, so I have an image of a golden retriever now. Nope, that did not work. Okay, and now what I'm gonna do is if I right click it, sorry. There you go. If I right click it and say search image with Google, that will open up Google Lens here on the right side. And it's identified this image as a golden retriever, right? So if you have an image, you don't know what the image is of, right? Obviously on the phone, it's way more useful because you can do it in live. So like if you're in the like taking a hike or something, and you want to take a photo of a new plant species, you want to identify what plant it is, take a photo, and it can identify what it is for you.
or check out, it's just poison ivy.
Yeah.
Your phone does that already. You just push up on the photo and it identifies.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's part of Google Photos, I think, as well right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does, just identify. It's on your phone.
Oh yeah. Okay. Next. Let's keep going. X that out. This is the last one. I mean, let's go through real quick. This one I think is really interesting. This is, I believe it's also paid. But there is a free version. So it's called the Gist AI. And pretty much what it does, it takes all of your notifications and everything that you get. So who gets like more than like 100 notifications a day? Like a lot of us. It'll summarize all of your notifications in a really easy to understand way, right? So rather than having all of these different emails, Slack messages, it has a Slack configuration. It'll pretty much summarize all of that into like a bite-sized piece of information for you to read. Just.ai, and this has a free version, but you have to join like a wait list and they'll allow you in. It's like a web, it's a Twitter app. And they have a thing. So you can summarize a Slack channel in like one click if you have a lot of messages. And the free version, I'm pretty sure the Slack doesn't work, but the free version can summarize your emails for you automatically. This is a relatively new company, but And that's all I have. We got 3 minutes remaining.
But when you say it summarizes these things, and at the beginning you said it's not always accurate, so how do you know that this, what you're getting is accurate? You know, whether it's accurate, then it's not really an efficient
Right.
system.
So the accuracy problem mostly comes when it's generating new information. That's when the accuracy problem comes into play. In this case, it's based on notifications that you already have, right? So it's not generating anything new. It's sorting this information for you, right? So here you can look here. It says needs your attention alerts, right? So it decides what notifications are more important for you to look at right now.
As long as it's factual information.
Yeah.
that's-
It'll all be in there for you. Okay. So, I mean, we're open for questions on any of the tools we've used.
I'm just curious about the high school. How robust are the computer science, whatever you want to call it, courses at Chatham High School?
They're pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good. I mean, Manal's taken a lot of the computer science courses at the high school. So is Joshua. I've taken a couple too. They're pretty good to introduce you to the computer science fields.
Yeah, I think they're adding like a new one on cybersecurity. They're trying to like update the curriculum, and just general courses to stay up to date on this kind of stuff.
Any other questions?
What are you guys all looking to do and take this to the next level, like go to like colleges and programs and degrees and dream jobs? What are you guys all looking to do?
She's the oldest, so
Well, I've mostly done stuff with like machine learning and models and like stuff like that. So that's what, like, I've been working on a few projects at like high school and stuff like that. So in college, I want to combine that with something else and like kind of explore the applications of it. But I mean, I really have to think about what I want as a job. So we'll see down the line.
I'm going to my sophomore year, so I haven't done much yet. I think I want to go into robotics. You know, I've also done some machine learning and AI things. I want to combine that with like engineering to make like physical things that people can use in their everyday lives.
What? I'm familiar with the term. What is machine learning?
it's pretty much what you saw. Machine learning the most basic definition is a computer doing something that you did not specifically tell it to do, right? So you told the computer to answer questions, sure, but you didn't tell it how to specifically answer to this type of question, right? But it's able to learn how to respond to your questions. So it's like kind of like a brain within the computer.
So AI is machine learning.
Yes, AI is pretty much machine learning is a subsection of AI.
What about your plans?
I'm interested in like biology a lot. So kind of the intersection of like all this AI stuff and biology is called like computational biology. That's one field. Just okay.
Ask you a privacy question, like, you know, all the emails you say like to summarize and but then the emails can be very personal. So how does the software do that handle this information?
So it's all of it's localized on your own computer, right? Just AI is not using your information to like retrain its model or anything. So it's all localized. I mean, if you want to look more, I'm pretty sure they do have a very specific like privacy statement on their page. They'll kind of tell you what precautions they've taken to make sure you're
Like company will allow me
I mean, I'm sure you'd have to ask probably.
I know a lot of companies like have banned the use of AI in work so that like trade secrets don't get like leaked.
Yeah.
Because like you never know.
If you have to use like a licensed version of ChatGPT.
Right.
Yeah.
To develop your own software.
I was just gonna say, there are specific AI type software that are made for businesses,
Mhm.
which have all kinds of security protection and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, companies buy them now.
I mean, I personally think, hopefully after this class, we've all kind of learned these different variety of tools that we can use. I'd highly recommend trying to incorporate these while you're doing whatever you're doing.
What percentage of these would be just the apps? The technology would be in an app that you use on a computer? Because ultimately, the only way to access it is going to be through an app.
Right. So, I mean, ChatGPT right now it's online, but there's also an iPhone app. I mean, that you can download, but I think on a computer, it's just on web. Some of them are apps, as far as I can tell. Tome AI, I'm actually not sure if they have an app. Majority of them I think are online though. Like Fireflies, this is an app. Google Lens, also an app. Gist, also an app. So yeah.
Will you be giving more courses like this? here at the
So-
library that we could sign up for, and
I mean,
other topics or
yeah.
whatever?
So I mean, CS-based, this organization that we're part of, we have a bunch of Chatham High School students and other students pretty much teaching classes at the Chatham Library in the summer and then throughout the school year as well. Most of our classes are targeted to like a younger audience for the most part, but it's open to anyone to register. It is.
So we could book the kids' class.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
If you'd like.
Exactly. Love it.
Yeah. Oh, are there any questions in the chat?
I agree, super informative.
So image generating tools wise, there's one called Midjourney AI that you can check out if you'd like. Forget if it's free or not. I think they stopped being free, unfortunately. There are a lot of image generating tools though. I think if you just Google one, you'll find them. So Census GPT, someone found something for the census. You can look through the census using censusgpt.com if you want to check that out. Microsoft AI bot, that's Microsoft Bing. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. You can pretty much do anything you want with ChatGPT. You can ask it anything. It'll try its best. If it doesn't know, this is one issue you should always be careful of. If it doesn't know the answer, it will still try answering and it might lie to you. So you gotta be careful. Because its only goal is to try answering your question. So it'll start making up information to answer.
Got a bit of an ego.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It can say that it's wrong. It can't say that it doesn't know.
And say, that doesn't sound right. Oh, sorry, and generate another reason. Like, people say, that doesn't sound right. Oh, sorry, and generate another reason.
Human skill discernment still applies.
Census GPT, what was that?
Censusgpt.com, that you can look through the census through that, I believe.
When you think about AI affecting machines and like robots and like the computer, like thing, like the store, when you go and you check out at a store and it's all like, you know, a whole virtual experience now, or you have like, you know, all these different ways that these technologies benefit us, not just on the internet, but in a store or whatever. Is AI an industry or is it a tool within the technology world?
I think it's both, for the most part.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a massive AI industry right now.
It's its own
Oh yeah,
industry
'Cause-
versus just a sector of the technology world.
yeah, because it's very because there's either AI that like people are selling commercial AI, or there's also a lot of AI research. I mean, there's a lot of different things going on. There are companies that are purely doing AI for research, right? They don't even sell products. Some companies that spend years upon years on doing AI research for a single product, right? And I think it's just everywhere at this point. Yeah, I guess this is one thing someone in the chat actually mentioned. I can show. It can bug fix code. It's great. And it just fixed the code for me. I forgot a closing quotation mark that added it for me. In fact, like if I put in a bunch of like faulty code, say what went wrong, it'll fix it for me. It's amazing.
Do you have to specify the programming language or does it?
Most of the time it's able to figure it out. Yeah. Most of the time it sticks to Python. You switch it, jobs, yes.
Are there large language models focused on biology?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's, I'm pretty sure there's actually one called the BioGPT, or something like that. Yeah. For generative pre-trained transformer for biomedical text generation. So it's looking at biomedical data. Yeah, there's ones for law, there's ones for pretty much every field you can think of at this point. There's a lot of.
Could that get to Python by Java?
Mhm. Um,
On the large language models, focused on a specific area. Is there like documentation on what databases they're using to create those,
yes,
those models?
yes, you can, if you
You can
Google,
drill down and get where all the data is
Oh,
coming
yeah.
from.
yeah, you can Google exactly where. I mean, one thing you can do with ChatGPT is like, if you ask it a question, ask it a source that where it got this answer from. Most of the time it's able to provide a good source.
So that's how the source.
Yes, I mean, I think, what's a question I could ask? That's what, like, cite a source. Information about.
I'm pretty sure it generates fake links.
It sometimes generates fake links, but sometimes it just generates real links as well. I
always get 4.
Oh, okay. Cite a source. Let's ask second. Tell me about. Yeah, let's see if it's what it does. Let's try this link. This is IBM quantum computing. So it tries. Sometimes it messes up, but it's okay.
Oh, that's good. That's like this,
Yeah.
You look up cold fusion.
Sure.
There was recently an article about somebody being able to do it at room temperature.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask it.
Oh, well, no reason, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so it's able to give you like a summary of what it is. You could ask it to tell you more. You can ask it to simplify it, everything. So let's see what it says. Yeah,
If you're writing a paper,
Mhm.
will it cite sources for you?
it tries. Sometimes it can mess up.
It tries, but it lies.
It tries, but it lies sometimes. Sometimes it's able, it creates fake links, right? Sometimes it creates fake sources.
Right.
Most of the information coming out of ChatGPT, like for a general question, like for this cold fusion question, for the most part, you can probably take it at face value as correct. I mean, but if you ask, the more specific and detailed you go, the more likely that it's lying to you. So it's really good for these generalized questions. I love ChatGPT for like learning. I mean, like this school year, I mean, I used it to quiz me on for like before my tests, for my history tests. I gave it like a topic, the Cold War, right? I asked it to quiz me on the Cold War. It gave me quiz questions, so it told me how I could improve, things like that.
How do you do a test, a real test? Okay.
I mean, most of the time, the AI did help me a lot though for studying. It's pretty good. Yeah. All right.
Wow.
Any other questions, guys? Okay.
Very good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Say